Hey everyone, welcome to Smash and Grab Comics. This is Tyler. This is take 3. TR and I may have some trouble tonight. I don't know what the fuck's going on. JP isn't able to join us, but TR and I are here for you on Saturday night.
Hi, I'm TR.
He's the other one. Anyway, so your weekly dose of Smash and Grab Comics. Tonight we're going to be talking about the King in Black.
Yeah, we decided to go with King in Black this week because this is the big Marvel event. This is their big thing for this season, and they started it off big. With it.
Before we get into it, any comic news this week that you can think of? So the thing that I was going to bring up is Ellen Page, comic book fans.
Elliot Page.
Yeah. So that was the thing. After she announced that she was going to, I know, but in my mind, she's a she at this point in the story.
Okay.
She announced that she was going to be transitioning, and that from that point on, she is a he. Changed her name from Ellen to Elliot. The news articles though were coming out as Elliot Page is going to be in the next season of
Umbrella
Academy. And so big question for fans is she going to play same character as Vanya as a female?
I don't know. If that's an interesting question, because it'd be interesting if whatever choice that they make, really.
Is she going to go through a physical change as well? Is she going that far? Have you heard?
I think that's her business.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had heard.
I haven't heard, but that's one of those things that whenever I see an article that gets into it,
yeah,
I feel skeeved out because I don't want people to know as much as they can about my genitals.
The reason I'm bringing it up is because if she goes through the transition, will that limit her, especially with this role as Vanya?
I don't know.
Because then all of a sudden she doesn't have as much femininity to her and she's much more masculine.
Yeah.
Honestly,
if she's going through HRT, it could, there are a lot of things, but I mean, I think it's lucky for us that we're cis dudes and we don't have to think about this kind of stuff. We don't have to worry about, how are people going to judge me? And
it's great. I don't know. I think people that would judge her aren't fans of hers anyway.
Yeah.
Because she's never been a character that had like huge sex appeal or anything like that. She's been cute and things like that. I mean, as Vanya, she's very cute. And then that other big role, it's completely escaping me. As Juno, right? She had that role, and everyone was grossed out that Jason Bateman was like,
Yeah, Jason Bateman was
the creep.
Getting creepy with.
Yeah.
I mean, because honestly, the age difference, that's like you hitting on one of your students.
Yeah.
Because she was a high school student. So that is you hitting on one of your oldest students. For those of you that don't know, Tyler is a teacher until this episode comes out and someone misunderstands what I said.
Yeah. I teach high school art as well. I teach K through 12 art. My day is crazy hectic.
Yeah. Now, what's that like? You have to.
Okay. So
do you do finger painting? And then for the more advanced kids, they do like, here, sculpt this, and then since they're in high school, they just sculpt the wang.
So my school district is super small. So it's made up of 2 towns, each of about 600 people. Okay. So we're talking about population of about 1,200 people.
I'm chewing ice. I apologize.
Between these 2 towns that are 5 miles apart. Okay. The elementary school is at one of them. The high school is at the other one. So in the mornings, I go to the elementary school, and depending on the day, depends on what class I'm going to. 1st grade, 2nd grade, so on. Because each grade is only roughly 20 to 25 students. So it's a very small school district, like I said. So it's not like the grade has 100 kids that I have to teach them all. And that's why we can get away with one art teacher for 12 grades. So elementary goes up through 6th grade for us. So they only get art once a week. So that always stays stagnant. Now, did I move the camera again?
Nope.
Is it still on you?
Yep.
So the bad part is that because of COVID right now, my high school schedule flip-flops every day. So what my school did as COVID precaution is that on Mondays and Wednesdays you go to your first, third, and seventh hour class, first, third, fifth, seventh hour classes,
Oh,
but for twice as long, for 80 minutes.
you know,
Tuesday, Thursdays, you're going to go to
the
the
opposite.
opposite, right? And then that switches next week because there's 5 days in a week, right?
Yeah.
So this week we're doing the even number of classes, 3 days a week, and we're doing, you get it.
And as a teacher, I imagine that wouldn't be a pain in the ass for you.
As a, I can't speak for more core level classes, but as an art teacher where all of my class is based on prep, I mean, teaching kids from ages 5 through 18 and teaching them as for the state of Minnesota's requirements that they have to have experience painting, drawing, right? And I have to meet all these high school standards for them, or elementary standard, yeah, it's insanely complicated because like I said, my elementary schedule changes daily.
Yeah.
And my high school schedule flips weekly. I mean, so yeah, getting a sub for me, I have recently found out that people don't like subbing for me, not because
the kids act out.
Yeah, I mean that's normal, but it's more so it's insanely complicated to figure out where I'm supposed to be and what. So like we were talking earlier about time commitment, and weekdays for me are so insane because, like I said, all this prepping and planning.
Now, people on the podcast can't see it, but we should explain for people watching on Eine Tuben Juden, which is what I pretend the Germans would call it YouTube.
Einen Tuben Juden?
Eine Tuben Juden.
Eine Tuben Juden.
Son
of a bitch. Are we on you?
Well, let's find out. So this is the third time now. You just let go of the camera. The third time now that Tyler has knocked into the camera.
Gotta quit moving. Are we good? The camera good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
We're fine.
Okay, Einen Tuben Juden, go.
So you can see that there is a Frank Zappa style mustache.
Yeah. So the reason for that is in November we did the No Shave November, and then we let the students vote on how they wanted us to shave. So we each got 3 picks of things we were willing to shave.
Oh, okay, so you got to pick out 3 styles.
3 styles.
Otherwise, I was thinking you were just going to go with anything, and I was going to say that would end up with every teacher having a little Hitler mustache.
Yeah. So this one guy, he's our maintenance guy. He opted to put the cattail that starts at one sideburn, goes over the chin, over the lip, ends in the middle of the lip.
Yo, I've seen those.
Okay. So that's what he got voted for. And our principal put on his, he was willing to do the bat symbol over his lips, right?
Nice.
Okay, so he had the bat signal on his lips, and of course that's what he got voted for. And yeah, I'm the only one who left mine, which is the Frank Zappa style mustache. But what I did was trim back the chin turd because it was huge on my lip and it just wasn't my style.
The soul patch.
Yeah, that wasn't a soul patch. That was like, I don't know, a soul garden, really.
Just too much of it there.
Yeah, I mean,
gross,
right? All right. So, Smash and Grab Comics is about comics. Hey, we're going to talk about The King in Black tonight because it brings together so many areas of Marvel into one event. Better, I think.
Let me ask you something. Are you a fan of the Avengers?
No.
Are you a fan of the X-Men?
Absolutely.
Well, then there's something for you in this book. Are you a fan of Spider-Man?
Spider-Man is one of my faves.
How about his villains?
Of course, Venom. This is a Venom story, baby.
Then this is for you. This is for you. Look at you sitting there.
I wore my Venom shirt, you son of a... Did you even notice? Did you even
You know what?
care?
I did notice, but I did not care.
Oh. Okay, so I'm supposed to care about what guild is that?
The Guild of Calamitous Intent.
What is that?
It's from the Venture Brothers.
Yeah, like that's cool. All right.
I was so bummed out when it got canceled.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Okay, it's King in Black now. So if you don't know and you've been living under a rock, this is the story of Null finally coming out of his shell. Last time we saw a version of him, he was killed as a dragon form, killed by Venom.
Right.
And so now Null is here with his horde of flying dragons. they've
and
arrived.
the amount of flying dragons. So it starts off.
So many.
Eddie Brock senses right away that it's going to happen, so he alerts Captain America, who is up on a station platform, whatever. They have a shitload of ships left over from the Skrull and Kree alliance.
Okay, as an event book, this is bringing together the Marvel world more than that did.
Yeah,
I
much
mean,
more than Empire.
I mean, for me, the biggest selling point, spoiler, we're not there yet, but it's pulling the MCU, Hickman's X-Men, into the MCU comic universe. What do they call it? I keep saying MCU, but I mean the comic verse. Do they have a name for it?
No, just the House of X, Powers of X, X-Men.
No, the Marvel comic universe. What is it known as? I keep
I
saying
don't know.
MCU.
The Marvel Universe.
Yeah. Okay. So the Marvel Universe hasn't seen the X-Men since Hickman took over. They've been
Right.
sequestered
They
to their
showed up
own
a
books.
little bit in Empire. They did show up a tiny-ish bit in Empire.
In their own books, though, right?
As I recall, yeah, but they were still part of the event.
Yeah, right. But they didn't show up in the main story.
Oh, did they not?
I don't think so. So anyway, this though was a little ham-fisted, like, because in the X-Men comics currently, there's nothing about Null in there whatsoever.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, with Wolverine, Cyclops, Storm showing up to help out, it was a bit.
You
weird.
thought it was a little, well, and it can be. That is one of the things about comic books is continuity can be a motherfucker, because sometimes at the exact same time they'll be releasing books, and especially right now because we got fucked over with COVID. I don't know if you're familiar, but there's actually a pandemic going on.
Yeah, I love it. I am a extroverted introvert, so having that built-in excuse to stay home, I love it, because it took away so much anxiety of having to endure something that made me socially awkward or whatever.
Like talking to just regular people on the street and stuff.
I don't know, but like my mom, hey, we're going out for my birthday, let's all go, and then it's like this, all the hoopla, right? All of the, and I've got kids, so it's not just like getting in my car and arriving there.
Yeah, see, that's I would make such a terrible father, but I feel like I'm just free. I'm as free.
I gotta put my arm down.
As a bird
Free
now.
as a bird. So, okay, what are we getting back to?
We had
Venom.
mentioned the X-Men showing up in this book, but that comes along a ways away.
Yeah, we'll get in there. Eddie has this vibe that Null is coming. So
Yeah.
he goes and wakes up little Brock.
Little baby
Dylan.
Brock.
Little Dylan Brock. Which I wish they could be more consistent with how old he looks.
Yeah, that was weird, because there's sometimes where he looked like he was maybe 5. Sometimes he looked like he was 13.
Yeah, which is weird because Ryan Stegman draws the regular Venom comic, doesn't he? And this is Ryan Stegman again.
No.
I don't know. Either way, Eddie warns him, hey, Null's coming. And then we jump to Captain America, who is knowing about all these dragons coming from outer space.
These
And
badass demon dragons that are like these giant symbiote thingies.
so their planet that they come from is known as what? Do you remember the name of it?
Oh, I thought you were doing like a who's on first bit. Their planet's known as what?
No.
Their species is known as who?
No, that's just a really weird way that I phrased it because I'm socially awkward. I have BPD, man. Okay. Do you remember what the symbiote planet's called?
I don't. I do not.
Okay. So
I think we can call it Dave, though.
Dave is a planet that is made up of the symbiotes themselves, right?
Right.
It's just them
Swarmed
around each other. Swarmed around Null.
Yeah.
So that as a group, they're known as a planet. Is that
Yeah,
kind of right? Is that what you understand?
Yeah, they're so big that they constitute a planet, but it's this swarming mass,
Okay.
this teeming disgusting, black, inky, oozy.
So here's my
You
question.
really want to stick your dick into it just to see.
What do you think Null's true form is? I mean, obviously he took on the form of a person, but do you think he has a host?
I think he's just a blob. I think
Yeah,
yeah.
I think so.
I think that his consciousness has allowed him
Do you think
as a blob to take on
this
so
humanoid
many forms.
body that he's in for these comics, do you think that is a person that he took over?
That's entirely possible because, I mean, the celestial, and if you look at him,
because why would he have a human body as far away as he's from? You know what I mean? It's like the symbiotes don't look like that. The symbiotes look like, grease or oil.
I mean, if you look at the celestials, they are also humanoid.
Yeah. Okay, so when we get to that part, maybe you could remind me. Tony Stark is confident that the warships from the Skrull Kree War that we just got through are still floating out in space, and Tony has rigged them to explode as Null's army is coming through it.
Right. His plan is to blow the demons just the fuck up with all the leftover ships.
Yeah.
From the EMP that he set up. See, I fucking hate Tony Stark.
Why?
Because he's so fucking smart, but he's so stupid. Because, like, his whole big thing.
What was stupid about what he did?
Well, okay, the first thing, the Skrull Kree thing.
Yeah.
When he disabled all those ships.
Yep.
And it turned out that they were the good guys and they really desperately needed their help. Good job. Way to fucking
he made a mistake, right? Then he made a mistake there.
Yeah, he made a huge mistake there. But then this one, he's so cocky, he doesn't really have a plan B because he's like, fuck you guys, I got this.
This Tony Stark, though, seems... And have you been reading the current series? Iron Man?
No, I have not.
Okay, so...
is it sexy?
It tries to be. Do you know what I mean? It's like this Tony Stark is definitely younger than Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark. He's a little more... less sure of himself.
Okay.
Right? Deep down, the Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark is probably a little bit insecure.
Yeah.
Right. But they don't show it much, only with the times with Pepper.
Right.
Right. This Tony Stark in the comic books is much more like introspective for us, the readers. So he seems a lot more vulnerable and he makes immature decisions because I feel like he's younger than the Tony Stark from the movies.
Yeah.
Maybe that.
And Tony Stark from the movies, I mean, I have my problems with that. But like the whole thing with Planet Hulk and World War Hulk, where he fucked up so bad there, the whole thing with Civil War that he set it off and like, oh, I know what's best.
Yeah.
Like all that stuff. And he, because he did all these calculations when he could have just talked to Captain America.
He could have, but that's Tony Stark.
Yeah, because Tony Stark's a dick.
Yeah.
And so's Reed Richards. I think Reed Richards is a dick too.
I wanted to get into that with you. At some point, recently, I think it was an X-Men comic probably, they discovered a Reed Richards from another dimension that's completely insane.
Okay.
And then I've seen another Reed Richards that's known as the Maker. And then it's like all of them are just like weirdos. So obviously in every dimension, Reed's intelligence gets so crazy that he just loses contact with reality.
Yeah. Basically, this is the only place where he doesn't like develop some weird power, get some insane personality, go completely insane altogether.
Right. Hey, so we got the symbiotes being seemingly blown up. Tony is going, yes, I can't be stopped. And then he realizes that he only got about 100 of them, which there's probably millions coming.
Yeah. There's enough to, well, you'll find out, but there's literally enough of these things to completely black out the earth.
Right. Well, okay. So Eddie is bringing Dylan to a safe house kind of bunker.
Yeah.
Do you know where this is at? I didn't really get a good sense of where they are.
Shit. I remember where it says about the bunker, but I can't find it at the moment.
Okay. I didn't know if you know what type of it. So he locks Dylan in this bunker. And
wait, here we go. He learned about it. He learned about it from Peter. It was Spider-Man who told him about it.
Okay. So Dylan is being locked into this thing. He wants to go with him. He feels the same calling towards Null that Eddie does, which is weird because Dylan doesn't have a symbiote. So you know what I mean?
Right, but he has those weird sort of powers that he can communicate with Null and
What do
that
you
sort
think
of
that's
thing.
about?
I think that's from something that I haven't read, honestly. I
Uh-huh.
think something happened and I haven't read those
You
issues.
know what? In that Reed Richards I was just talking about, that's from the main Venom series.
Okay.
I just thought of it because they slipped into another dimension because of, well, anyway,
Because of Sean John?
Sean John.
Yeah.
Who's Sean John?
I don't know.
That's my son, Sean Johnson. You met him last week.
His name is Sean Johnson. He lives in Wisconsin. He works at a lumber mill there.
So anyway, what'd you think of him?
When I met Sean,
Yeah, my
he
boy.
seemed quiet. He
Uh,
seemed intimidated by my presence, my otherworldly, almost godly presence.
Can I tell you what it really is? And he may disagree with me, but he is polite to the point that he doesn't speak until people speak to him. When he doesn't know them.
Okay.
It is not from an uncomfortableness. It is not from he's not a shy person. This was a new situation for him, and I think with adults he waits for the
And
initiation.
it's weird for me because I have to keep reminding myself I'm old as crap to kids like that.
He is the type of kid that his mom brought him up in a way that you respect an adult, right? Um, I don't know. It definitely doesn't come from uncomfortableness. It just comes from like he just waiting for the right time instead of just babbling like I do.
Overly politeness.
Yeah, exactly. Back to the story. Down in the ground, the Avengers are having a hard time against these dragons.
Yeah, they wanted to get.
Who are these people coming off the ship that lands? I'm on this. Yeah, I'm on the same spread you're on. Whose ship is that in the?
That's just an Avengers ship.
That's the
I think.
X-Men. No, it's the X-Men. Turn the page, and there's Xavier sending in the second wave, Washington Square Park. This is the moment that the X-Men enter. The Hickman's X-Men enter the MCU continuity because there's been so many theories that the Hickman's X-Men run, as crazy and different as it's been, has been an alternate reality.
Right, because it has been weird as shit. I fell out. I just couldn't
like
anymore.
I like it.
But you gotta commit. You can't just casually read X-Men anymore.
No.
And JP's mentioned this before.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mention other things JP's mentioned.
Sure.
Oh, look at me. I got a wife and I just had a baby.
He won't listen to it anyway.
Yeah,
Oh.
we could say whatever we want about him. Hey JP, stop showing me your genitals.
Yeah, it's really uncomfortable.
You can keep showing me a little.
For TR. Okay, so the X-Men. Now, what this means, especially, and then here's the way that you know this is Hickman's X-Men as opposed to
It's Professor X, the way he looks right away.
yeah, the Professor X helmet. So we know this is not like old X-Men. This is the current state of the X-Men.
Right. And yeah, I mean, it's a great spread. It is such a good page, that splash page.
Yeah, they didn't need to bring in anyone else except Storm. She's the only X-Men that got any use during this issue.
Well, Cyclops looks cool.
Yeah.
And Jean Grey is also there.
Okay, so
Here, I'm going to switch to your camera, but then I'm going to block your face with this spread.
all right.
Okay.
Hi.
Doesn't that look better, folks? Isn't that better right there? That's nicer. I'm just kidding. No, this is. I mean, it's hard to get it just right with the lighting and everything, but that is such a well done page. That splash page.
I agree. And then the next page, Venom's making his way to like the
throne that was left over from Absolute Carnage.
Thank you. I was going, what is that? How do you remember that?
Because I guessed.
Did you?
Yeah.
And then did you confirm it when you go back and look?
Yeah.
Huh. What made you think of that? Because it's red?
Well, he actually mentioned something about how the spire is left over from Carnage's assault on New York.
Okay. So he's going to this symbiote chair
that will let him communicate with Null, sort of. Like, it's not so much that he can communicate with Null, it's the other symbiotes.
Yeah, he's tapped into the hive mind.
Right.
I mean, essentially.
Which I would love to be tapped into a hive mind.
It's, pretty much like when you were in that cult. it's like that.
I know. That's why I'm saying I'd love to have
Do you
that
miss
again.
that life?
I really do.
Yeah.
Creed Bratton got it right. You have more fun when you're a follower in a cult, but you make more money when you're the leader.
Yeah, you have more sex as the leader.
Maybe you do.
If we started a cult, TR.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think the like culty things we would do?
First of all,
Yeah.
the king of the gods is Joe Wilkerson.
Okay.
No, Joe. I forgot his last name. Joe Wilkinson.
Who is that?
Yeah, he's a British guy. He's a comedian. He's very funny.
Okay.
He's the king of the gods. But we have to have some ridiculous gods.
But why? Why him? Why him?
Because he looks like he might be homeless.
Okay. Did I ever tell you my story that happened to me at work about this same subject?
You met God.
Okay, ready? One of my students in one of my art classes is back in the back of the room at the whiteboard. And he and his friend, I'm going to change the friend's name.
Sean John.
Jesse. So Jesse.
Sean John.
Okay, Sean John is up at the board.
Yes, he's at the board.
And they came up, and they were, just to be funny, they came up with the Jesseism, right?
Okay.
A cult. And they said, Johnson, you want to be in our cult? They were putting it on the whiteboard like they were coming up with a business plan or something.
Okay.
And so then I said, I am only joining a cult if I get to be the cult leader. And they were like, yeah, sure. And they wrote cult leader Johnson. Okay.
On school property?
Yeah.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Class ended. Nobody thought to erase the whiteboard. I got called and had to explain.
You got called into the principal's office, and when they called you in, did all the kids go, ooh?
No, it was like on the download later, like 2 days later.
That's stupid. That's boring, and I hate it.
Yeah, but can you imagine when you have to explain to your principal why the whiteboard in your room says that you're a cult leader of Jesseism?
See, this is why I'm not a teacher.
But this is like what pisses me off. I meet these kids on this real level where they feel like they don't have to put on a show with me. They don't have to put up a wall.
Mm-hmm.
All of 99% of my students, I guess I can't say all, feel like I am somebody that actually cares about them. I'm going to pull up a photo for you right now. And
I swear to God, this could be horrible. This could be career ending for you.
Could you read this, but not the kid's name at the end? This girl's a 6th grader.
It's hard to read.
You just have to read the
Art is something that makes you a breath with a different...
the other half of the page.
Mr. Johnson, you are the best art teacher ever. Hope you stay teaching for many more years to come. Art is the best subject. Thank you for making me actually want to come to school. You are the best artist I know. Your friend, secret 6th grader, a.k.a. Sean John.
Yeah. Okay, so this girl...
And it came with the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Do you...
I hate it. It's gone. No, I didn't bring it for him. I guess my point is, you know how I get that? Because I don't get down on the kids like an a-hole. Where are you going? Got to pee?
I wanted a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
I don't have one for you. But this is what makes it so hard is that
I'm going to pout.
My normalness, for me, what's normal kind of sneaks out while I'm at school.
Oh.
And I, I'm the guy that's not going to get mad at them if they're wearing their hat or have their hood up. Right?
Sure.
I'm the guy that's not going to be...
You're the cool teacher who sits down in a backwards chair.
No. I'm in the mindset that this is art. Here's your project. This is when it's due. You've got X amount of projects, and if I don't have them by the end of the quarter, I'm going
to beat you.
No, I guess my point is that I try to let them self-govern themselves. I let them feel like they matter.
Here's why I'm going to caution you against that. Christy Nome was a big fan of that. And right now, South Dakota's death rate in COVID is insane.
Okay, self-govern was the wrong word. But self-directed in a self-directed classroom. Okay?
Yeah.
Especially my art classroom. So COVID's been really tough because I can't let them do that.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, I don't know how I got on this tangent, but Venom's tapped into the Carnage throne. It hooks to his head, not too dissimilar to the Star Wars movie when what's his
Palpatine.
Palpatine was,
Go for Palpatine.
that's what this reminds me of.
Did it?
A little bit.
I
Kind of
guess I
tapped
could
into
kind of
that.
see that.
Tapped into,
But
he was tapped into the machine. He was keeping him alive, but
yeah.
anyway.
But as soon as he taps into it, he flips the fuck out and says it's not just null. And they ended there on a page turn, which is such a great way to do it. Now, this has a series of splash pages.
What are you at? Oh, okay.
This entire book has a series of splash pages that are really well done, I think.
Did we ever figure out what he meant by it's not just null?
Yeah, he meant what happens on the next page.
What the stuff we already knew. Oh, the Celestials.
Yeah.
Okay, can
So
you
there
myself
are 3 Celestials that have been venomized.
For myself and other people who are not well versed in what Celestials are, can you give us a background?
Yeah, they're so the Celestials are basically, they were like gods. They have this extreme power. They're like Titan. They're huge.
Okay, so in Thor,
Yeah.
have you been up on what happened in Thor? What happened with Galactus?
No.
Was that a Celestial that
Galactus, I believe, is a Celestial.
Galactus is a Celestial?
I believe he is, yeah. Celestials are huge, galactically powerful beings.
Okay. Do we know specifically who these Celestials are? They look like zombified versions, but they're venomized.
They're venomized versions. Yeah.
So, but the art for me didn't read Venom right away.
Yeah,
it read like mummy wrapping.
Yeah,
so
it was odd.
So partially because of, I guess I would assume because of the way Stegman assumed the lighting would be, but so you're viewing it from below up at these things falling, okay? And their feet are white wrappings that looks like, but I guess it's supposed to represent symbiote material.
Yeah, the weird symbiote just
goo
being the goo.
Yeah. Okay. So now that we got a better hook on what they are, they're coming down to Earth. There's 3 of them, and all of a sudden one of them opens up. Ta-da! It's Null. He's here. Ta-da!
And then there's another ad. So if you guys are fans of ads, there's one.
Yeah, they had to make this thing big, baby. Here's my thing. Why are the Celestials arriving a scary thing for Brock? What about them? I mean,
because they're so massively powerful and Null has control over them.
Okay. So Null's here. He says, he introduces himself. I'm going to kill your world. I'm looking for Brock.
Yeah, he says, I'll kill you nice if you give me Brock.
Yep. Okay, so the Avengers and it looks like part of the XMen and Spider-Man are all there.
And some of the Fantastic Four.
Luke
There's
Cage.
Iron Fist. Yeah, Luke Cage.
Okay, so basically...
There's Daredevil. Don't you tell me Daredevil's not there. He's
right
there.
Where?
Daredevil.
That's a girl.
No, above Luke Cage.
That's a girl, dude. And I'll tell you...
You're a girl.
It
said, look at the DD on the titties.
Do you know why it's a girl?
Why?
We'll go into that. Like, we'll take a little side trip right now.
Take a little trip with me.
Daredevil 25 came out last week. Daredevil Matt Murdock went to jail. This is Elektra in a Daredevil costume.
Elektra is Daredevil now?
That was the Y25 when I asked you to pick it up for me. That's why it was going through the roof before it came out.
I bought it on spec.
Thanks.
I'm hoping.
What'd you get it for? Did they sell it to you cover price?
Did they not sell it to you for cover price?
They should have. They did, yes, because I had one put aside. But normally,
okay, they did for me. I was gonna lie. And they that we're talking about, by the way, is Rainbow Comics Cards and Collectibles at 3310 South Minnesota Avenue in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And do you remember where they are?
In Lincoln, Nebraska.
1501 Pine Lake Road, Suite 17 in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Okay, so did you have yours in your box? Did you pre-order one?
No, I did not.
Okay, so in the past, when comics are going up pre-sale, right, pre-release, Rainbow has put them out for market value.
Yeah, they have done that on occasion, and they do that as a way to sort of limit it to people who really want it.
Yeah.
But at least that's what JP, his excuse always is. let's just trash talk them since they never listened to the show. I
Oh,
think
JP.
actually John listens to the show. Not JP, but John the Greater.
Yeah, he
does
listens
listen to the show.
John, if you listen to the show, can you send me a text when you hear this? Thanks.
And if you listen to the show, you don't have my phone number, but I'll send you a strippergram.
Of you? I don't think he's into that, dude.
I don't think I'm into it either. I think we're both gonna have to suffer.
Yeah. So Daredevil currently is in prison, and Elektra has taken up his spot as
Did
Hell's
he kill a guy?
Kitchen's savior. Yeah.
Yeah. He killed a guy?
Yeah.
Did he do it on purpose?
No. No, it was manslaughter he's been charged with. And so, but
Matt Murdock's in jail for manslaughter?
Daredevil is. So he got to go to prison as Daredevil.
Oh, so they didn't unmask him?
No. Anyway, so
Hey, hang on.
He's been unmasked in the past, but there was something that they did a retcon and got rid of that. So at this point in time, people do not know, except for a few key people like Elektra, do not know that he is Matt Murdock.
Matt Murdock.
So as you can see, this lady has a ponytail, right? And
oh, that's what that is. I thought that was like smoke or symbiote or some shit.
No, that would be.
Yeah, that is Elektra's ponytail thingy.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool that they've included that already because it literally just happened last week.
Yeah. And they have Captain Marvel in here and she's looking all tough and like a baddie, but like she's nothing to Null. Null is a literal god. That's the thing. She is a godlike human.
Yeah.
He is a human like God.
Yeah. And I think he took on that form like we were talking about. Maybe he has a host. Anyway, this is really hilarious when Sentry shows up.
I know.
Okay.
Sentry shows up to save the motherfucking day.
I don't even know who Sentry is.
Sentry's a little crazy.
Okay. So I'm guessing
I think it's just bipolar or something like that.
Is he crazy powerful?
Yes, he's also very powerful. But if I remember correctly, and guys, don't hesitate to really angrily tweet at us at Grab Comics
because we don't know. I mean, go ahead. I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about Sentry. Anyway,
say something horrible about my mother. That's fine.
Okay, so Sentry got a hold of a Venom symbiote sometime in the past, and Null latched onto the remnants still there. Basically absorbed the remnants, and Sentry is no more. Poof.
That's not what I saw.
What do you think? I'm looking at this double page splash, double page. Can you get this on the camera? This is what we're talking about.
Well, I'm just going to point out that is a severed arm. Right there. Look at all the bloody severed arm.
Yeah, but I think he absorbed the venom. Yeah, he destroyed the guy.
Yeah, I think like he ripped him the fuck apart. I think he ripped him into little pieces.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, basically, I was gonna say Venom. Basically, Null's insides came shooting out. They look like Dr. Octopus's arms a little bit.
They're his weird tendrils.
Yeah, from where we don't know. The art is a little bit vague here.
7 testicles.
Child, and then the words here are child, I am no Lord of the abyss, God of the symbiotes, the darkness inside of you, that darkness bows to me, and I am
the void.
So they're realizing that they don't stand a chance. Tony Stark is like freaking the fuck out, telling Cap, who's on the ground, get out of there. Cap's with Felicia Hardy, what's her name?
Black Cat,
and Wolverine. So I do like how Marvel's really trying to put all of these characters together.
Yeah, it is. While it is a huge, expansive thing with a lot of people coming into it.
Yeah,
I think I am enjoying the fact that it doesn't feel so overly big that it's gimmicky.
I do like it that all these characters are together. The series that bother me, and this one probably will when the add-ons start coming out.
Yeah.
But the thing that bothers me is the world-spanning, Marvel-spanning events because
it gets so
I don't
big,
give a shit
and then
about,
they end up petering out.
Yeah.
Those ones that are so huge always end up with a very disappointing outcome.
But this main story right here, we've got the Avengers, we've got Spider-Man, we've got X-Men, you know what I mean? We've got Venom. And I'm sure we've got more, like you said about, wow, just, I don't even know what you're doing.
I was getting some water.
So at this point, the guys on the ground are just getting their asses kicked, and Null decides to throw up a shield around Earth, a symbiote shield.
Yeah, he completely surrounds the entire Earth with a cocoon of symbiotes.
Yeah. So it blocks out the sun, you know, what have you. Storm feels it immediately because it basically shuts off the weather.
But her big thing that she was doing is she was using her lightning-based attacks.
Yep. So now we have this huge arm going up what looks like the Empire State Building to grab Storm out of the air.
Yeah.
And Tony is just like, go, Storm, you know? Anyway, Eddie Brock is making his way off of the chair to connect up with Null, give in to him.
Yeah, he's going to make himself known to Null, and then he's going to give up because Null's big... That was my dog, if you guys could hear that.
So, okay, quick question.
Quick answer. That was good.
While he's connected to the chair and he's seeing what the hive sees, okay, how is he keeping himself from not becoming one of the hives? Like, how is his symbiote, like, resisting that?
I think it's because it's Carnage's specific throne type thing.
Okay, but, like, okay, not connected.
I think it's because it's comic book magic. Don't ask me too many questions. I didn't write this.
Like, because they agree to be part of the hive mind right now, basically. They say they're going to reach out to Null and say, we're here. Come get us.
He's not becoming part of the hive mind, but he's reaching out to Null to show him where he is, to surrender himself, to make things not as horrible for the world.
Yeah.
But then we quickly find out that that's not the Brock that he was looking for.
Yeah, which, you know, it shouldn't have been that big of a page turner for me. I should have seen that coming. We all should have, because Dylan Brock has been the focus of so much of the Venom series.
Yeah.
And of course he was going to be like, I can't believe I missed that kind of thing.
Were you a little disappointed in yourself the way I am right now?
I was a little disappointed that it was Dylan. I'm like, God.
I don't like the name Dylan. Okay. No offense to any Dylans out there, but I assume that you're kind of a dick.
Do you? When your name's Dylan?
Yeah, when I've met several Dylans in my life, and every last one of them was kind of a dick.
So,
what's your middle name?
Dean.
That's close to Dylan.
Uh-huh. What's yours?
I have two middle names, so I have no middle names.
Okay. What is your first, second, third, and fourth name? Can you say it all together?
Tristram Gabriel Terrell Risk.
Nice. It doesn't have a nice flow, though.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, you know, Tristram just doesn't roll off the tongue.
No, it doesn't. It's very, that's why I go by TR. Tristram is so difficult for so many people.
Trump. It's because of the double TR.
Tristram. Now try and spell it.
Tristrum.
Nope. Ah, you were so close. AM. TRAM.
God, I'm such a fucking idiot.
And that is, by the way, as far as I can tell, a completely unique name. And how do you catch a unique name?
Google.
Unique up on it.
Anyway, so Null wants Dylan. He realizes that Eddie is the Eddie. Oh, you killed me, my dragon. I know you, but I don't want you.
Yeah, and then he literally rips Eddie's symbiote off him. So
not even. It's so much not even a rip. He basically, Null makes no effort here, just plucks it off him.
Yeah, like it's nothing.
And Eddie is left naked, and Null just drops him off the building.
He's wearing boxers. Don't get too excited.
Null drops him off the building.
And then to be continued. Yeah, that is the end of it. Did you read the letters to King in Black? All this stuff?
No.
I hardly ever read any of this stuff.
But there's so much in there. I mean,
there is a whole buttload of stuff that's pre-creation. Null forges the Necrosword and begins the experiments that would eventually become The symbiote species and its offshoots.
Yeah. So I'm gonna plug this recorder in because the battery is a little low.
You just knocked into the camera again.
Okay.
My disappointment with you is boundless and limitless.
All right. So tell me what I need to do to fix it.
I don't know.
Is it way off?
Oh, the camera? No, it's fine.
Okay. All right. All right. All right.
I thought you meant fix it between us, and I just don't know, man.
Okay. Well, that's a thing for another time. Okay. So that's the end of the comic.
First off, what would you rate it?
God, out of 10?
Yeah.
Probably 9.5.
I would go 9 solid because it has so much action. It has so much exposition, but they don't clash against each other.
Yeah.
And the art on it, I guess we don't really talk about art much because it's so much a podcast. But since we're on the YouTube, I thought the art was all fairly consistently good.
Yeah.
There were a couple panels with Dylan where it looked a little weird.
That's not how he draws Dylan. And I'm pretty sure it's Ryan Stegman on both of these. And yeah, he was showing Dylan with a little bit longer hair.
With Dylan, there is some inconsistency, but
and that's the other thing. Like, how far off is this event from the Venom series? Because I'm gonna go back and look at the Venom series, but I'm pretty sure they just got back from an alien reality. And not with long hair.
Yeah.
Like both of them have some shaggy
that's
hair.
what I recalled too. So I thought that was weird, but I thought maybe I was just remembering wrong.
I mean, those are just small things. And I'm sure with Donny Cates, there's no continuity errors. It's probably just we missed something.
Well, honestly, COVID. Diamond shut down distribution. Empire should have come out at a different time than it did.
Yeah.
X of Swords should have come out a different time than it did.
Okay. You know, we should, now that X of Swords is done, we should talk about it.
I am not reading that motherfucking 22 issue motherfucking thing.
I'll loan it to you. Jesus.
No. It's not a matter of purchase. It's a matter of reading.
Yeah. Well, I just want someone to talk to you about how fucking dumb it is.
Is it really?
Just the motivations behind it. Like, Saturnine's motivation for doing all of this. And like, it was all based on tarot cards. And so there was this tarot card, like 10 of Swords is where that comes from.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it was just this battle ultimately to set up where the other island, Araco, because Krakoa used to be connected to Araco in ancient times, and which was where Apocalypse was living at the time. And it had a different name. Well, I guess a different demon universe came into existence through the center of this island, breaking them into two, and outspewed all these other dimension type things. Apocalypse was able to shut the gate, but half the island, including his wife, was taken. In the centuries, in thousands of years since, she has spurred a mutant population there.
Okay.
Amongst the mutants that got trapped there with her. And so when they're brought together, is that they are the ultimate fight of this arc of X-Men.
Okay.
Where it's this face off between Apocalypse and his long dead wife or long gone wife.
So it's actually Alpacalypse fighting his wife.
Yeah. And he yields to her. No, it came to, he actually had her and he chose not to kill her, and therefore he resigned or he gave up. And just the whole thing was just, I was not a fan of.
No.
For me with big events, there's got to be some motive, right? There's got to be a reason. And it just felt like this whole event was just basically, and some of the events that came up, like it was basically like the Olympics of like X-Men versus this alternate reality people. Okay, so it was like watching American Gladiator. There was like challenges they had to do, and some of them were very, very dumb. Like,
that sounds pretty stupid.
You know what I mean? And it was this, Wolverine versus so and so, winner, and then
ready.
Yes.
Fight.
Yes.
Bum, bum, bum,
if it was a
bum,
video
bum,
game, we'd
bum.
be talking about it as like Super Smash Brothers.
Okay. So not even Mortal Kombat.
I don't know. It was just some of it, no, not Mortal Kombat level of coolness. It literally was like really dumb shit. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even have an example off the top of my head, but
But
let's
you were
get back
just not a fan of it.
points of it. Like, Apocalypse in the end, spoiler, he went to go live in the other universe with his wife. So now the X-Men have to fill his seat at the Quiet Council on Krakoa,
Okay.
kind of thing. And by Jean going into battle, she resigned her seat because they said, if you go, you're off the council. Because they didn't want so many of them on the battlefield.
That makes sense.
It's like you don't want all three of the top three people in our country, president, vice president, secretary of state, or no, what is it? Who's the third one?
Senate majority.
Yeah, Senate majority leader. You don't want all three of them in a high stake situation all together.
Unless they're playing poker.
Right. Okay. Back to King in Black, though. We're not talking about X-Men tonight. Although we should sometime. I really want to. Please, will you read it?
God, you'd have to pay me money.
Please, would you read it? Just please. Would you read it?
Maybe.
Will you read it?
I might read it and do it for.
I'll talk to you like this. Okay, let's get back to King in Black. That got weird. Okay, great story. Any issues for you besides the characters? Not to me, they don't look quite right from the regular Venom series.
There's something different about how, especially the first several pages, there's something different in the style.
He's just like kind of been experimenting through the whole Venom series with Eddie having long or short hair, and always with a beard though. Do you like the way that he's upgraded Eddie from like the 80s flat top that he had?
Yeah. And there was a while that Eddie had the mullet.
The mullet, yep. But I guess the guy grows. Are you digging it? You gonna read it? You gonna keep going?
I think I am. It's fun. It's it's so far it's well done. My question is, what the fuck do they do from here? So I might wait until like a trade comes out to get it.
What do you think of Dylan? What do you make of this Dylan being the one that Null wants? What do you think that's about?
I don't know. It's interesting because they mentioned that he and Null like had some weird connection. Yeah. So I'm guessing it has something to do with that. And maybe if I had to guess, I would say that his current host body, Null's current host body, is too old. And he's going to use Dylan as a new host body.
Here's my theory on that. Why there's a connection. I think, if I'm not mistaken, and fans, let me know if I am. But Eddie and his past lady conceived Dylan while Eddie had the symbiote.
I believe. I mean,
he was conceived after Eddie was infected. So my thing is though, Eddie, his symbiote has what you call reproduced before Carnage, for example.
Carnage.
Okay.
And then Carnage reproduced.
What if this was...
Can you name who Carnage reproduced?
Scream?
Toxin.
Toxin. Okay, who's Scream then?
Scream is like part of a symbiote thing. Like, I'm not even sure.
I never got into symbiote stuff past Carnage because it felt so much like a rehashing.
Yeah. Toxin, I liked quite a bit. The miniseries that they
girl,
did.
Right? She's a girl?
No.
Scream is,
yeah. Scream has breasts.
Who's Toxin?
And Toxin.
Like, who's the host?
Former cop. A guy that he was a cop. Then when he gets infected, he's like, nope, I can't be a cop anymore.
Yeah. So here's my thought. Eddie and his girl, basically, I think Eddie and the symbiote together impregnate the lady.
Yeah.
And that's where Dylan's connection comes from, because
that would make sense.
Because it's like a, combination species thing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That would make
sense. It's just not the symbiote reproducing. It's Eddie and the symbiote.
Yeah. But overall, I liked it. I think I'm going to keep going with it.
Yeah. Cool. So
yeah, I think that's about it.
That's about it. So for Smash and Grab Comics, this is Tyler saying, have a good one. TR?
Don't tell me what to do.
Bye.